さあ殺し合いが始まるか終わりだ。
Oracle Maiden Lunafreya's Trustmaster reward is a materia that boosts your unit's magic by 40% and Esper parameters by 50%. Her Super Trustmaster reward, a Trident, is a rod that boosts your unit's magic by a great amount, their spirit by a decent amount, and has a passive that boosts your unit's evoke damage by 50%. Onto her active abilities. In this form, she deals magic damage, and with the exception of one ability, the odd chain of Chaos Wave Awaken. Light of Virtue is a brave ability that deals light damage, reduces the enemy's light resistance by 120%, and chains of Bolting Strike. Pierced Waves deals water damage. Torrent of Purity can be used 5 times per battle. It deals water damage and lowers the enemy's water resistance by 120%. Shining Star of Rebirth uses an evocation orb to deal light damage. Star of Grace boosts her magic by 300% and enables a quadruple cast. Dawn of Purity deals light damage and lowers the enemy's light resistance by 120%. Passives. But for Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, she'll gain a boost to her limit burst damage and Esper parameters. She has a strong killer against aquatic and dragon type enemies, alongside a decent boost to her limit burst gauge fill rate. As a summoner, she can evoke any Esper on her team. When using Shiva, Rama, or Titan, she'll activate an area effect that, take my word for this, boosts ice, lightning, or earth magic damage, respectively, by 25%. She can also dual wield, though whether or not you prefer it depends on your inventory. Upon entering the battle, she'll automatically fill your evocation gauge. She can also triple cast black magic, and she has access to Faraga, Thundaga, and Blizzaga. In this form, Lunafreya doesn't rely on evoke damage, so feel free to go ahead and equip killers that will further boost her magic damage. Let's look at her limit burst. It deals light magic damage, lowers the enemy's light resistance by 120%, and increases your team's light damage by 25%. Time to change forms. Her Brave Shift has a 2-turn duration and a relatively long 3-turn cooldown. Active abilities. She loses the black magic, which I'm sure sends you into a fit of depression, but look at the bright side. Judgment of the Fungi uses an evocation orb to deal lightning evoke damage that chains of Chaos Wave Awaken. Messenger's Aid increases her limit burst damage by 150%, and fills it by a little less than half its max capacity. Pure Erosion lowers the enemy's water resistance by 120%. Benevolence of the Hydraean uses an evocation orb to recover a bit of your team's MP, and boost their water resistance by an incredible 130%. Water Blessing boosts her magic by 300%, and her water damage by 15%. That one free 7-star unit's aid can be used twice per battle. It completely fills Lunafreya's limit burst gauge and boosts her limit burst damage by an impressive 250%. Passives. She gains a lot of boost to Esper parameters, so what she really needs is additional sources of evoke damage. Of course, more Esper parameters and buffs to her limit burst damage wouldn't hurt either. Due to the fact that some of her abilities still deal magic damage, she retains the killer buffs, but keep in mind that those aren't taken into account when dealing evoke damage. Now, one of the most exciting parts of every evoke damage dealer, their limit burst. It deals water evoke damage and activates an area effect that boosts water damage by 25%. By following the right rotation and giving her the right equipment, her damage will skyrocket to outrageous degrees. But before that, let's rank Brave abilities. I recommend raising whatever you want. They all just raise their damage in the end, nothing else, so there's nothing extraordinarily noteworthy. Time to make a damage rotation. On turn 1, activate her Brave Shift. Cast Water Blessing, Gentiana's Aid, and Torrent of Purity. On turn 2, kill. Turn 3 shouldn't be a topic, but regardless you'll revert back whether you'd like it or not. Cast Star of Grace, Dawn of Purity, and Shining Star of Rebirth. On turns 4 and 5, triple cast Shining Star of Rebirth and top them off with Dawn of Purity. On turn 6, with that quadruple cast, switch forms, cast Water Blessing, Gentiana's Aid, choose one of the elemental attacks, whichever works best in this scenario. I'd personally choose Light of Virtue, and Torrent of Purity. Then, on the next turn, kill again. So how good is Oracle Maiden Lunafreya? See that? Yeah, she's pretty strong. She does have a few disadvantages, like that limit burst being locked into water, but let's be real. How many of you let that stop you from getting Neo Vision Terra or Ferris? Thanks to the buffs to black magic, Oracle Maiden Lunafreya has a bevy of elemental options, though the extent of the damage fluctuates widely depending on the element. But, so long as you're sticking with water, you'd have a very hard time finding an enemy that can survive the deluge of damage Lunafreya boasts. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and if you'd like to join, click the link in the description below. Comment below if you'll get Oracle Maiden Lunafreya. Personally, I actually plan on skipping her. The only reason I was interested was the high damage output, and given that there are stronger upcoming characters that I prefer much more, I've practically lost all interest in her. Now, maybe if she had a cool CG limit burst of a big Esper, then we might be talking.